Sheila, and today I would like to share with you how to knit the Eyelet mock cable rib stitch, which is one of my absolute favorites. So a lot of beginner knitters get intimidated with cable needles and the cable stitch, but in this case we won't be using a cable needle, and yet we will be able to create this beautiful delicate stitch here. So I wanted to show you, this is a pattern that I designed, and this is called the Berry Picker Fingerless Gloves and Mittens. It's got two finishes. So as you can see, this one has the little fingers on it, and this is just the hand version, the mitten version. So this design, I used the 1x1 knit and purl stitch, rib stitch, for the cuff, and then for the most part of the glove, it is just the stockinette stitch, which is knit stitches on the right side. And as you can see, for both versions, that's what I used, but I decided to make it not so basic by putting this lovely Eyelet mock cable rib stitch on here. And as you can see, it still stretches because of the ribbing characteristic of the stitch, and that's what I want to show you today. In doing this, I am going to show you how to do it in flat knitting and round knitting. So we're going to do the flat knitting first. First things first, this stitch calls for a multiple of 5 stitches plus 2. So 5 stitches plus 2. Let me just show you this. So if you see this column here, this column that is the eyelet cable, this is composed of 3 stitches. 1, 2, there's one in the middle, and then 3. And then you have these 2 purl stitches on the right side of it. So those are the 5 stitches. So 3 here and 2 there. So if you are going to make this pattern, you will need 5 stitches. And then the multiple, or however multiples or however many columns you want to make would be multiples of 5. And then the plus 2 would be the 2 stitches on the other side, and that would be the 2 purl stitches here. So let's move on to our tutorial. We are going to cast on, let's just stick with this example. So this has 22 stitches for the eyelet mock cable rib part of it. So let's cast on 22. All right, 22 stitches. And then since we are doing flat knitting, we are going to turn it over. Okay, for the first row, we are supposed to make 2 purl stitches. So there's 1, 2, and then we are supposed to slip 1 stitch purlwise. So for purlwise, meaning the yarn is still on the front, and then we are just going to slip 1 stitch from the left to the right, and then 2 knit stitches. So the yarn should be on the back before we start that knit stitch. So for the PSSO, which is the pass slip stitch over, we are going to slip our left needle into the third stitch on the right needle, and then we are just going to pass that stitch over the 2 knit stitches that we did last, and that would be the PSSO. So we'll try that again a few more times on this row. There's the 2 purl stitches, and then again 1 slip stitch purlwise. Wrap your yarn around to go to the back for the next 2 knit stitches. Again, you're going back for this stitch right here. This is the slit stitch, and you are going to pass this over the 2 knit stitches, just like that. And then again 2 purl stitches, slip 1 stitch purlwise, 2 knit stitches, and then pass this slit stitch over, 2 purl stitches, one slip stitch, 2 knit stitches, and then pass that slip over, slip stitch over, and then for the last stitches we'll do 2 purl stitches. Let's try that again. All right, it slipped off my needle. All right, there you go. Okay, it doesn't look much at this point, but we're gonna keep going. So for the first 2 stitches, we are going to do knit stitches. And then we are going to purl the next stitch, and then a yarn around. A yarn around, for that we are going to take this yarn on the front and wrap it around the needle once, and then we're ready to do the next purl stitch. So technically we increased it by 1 stitch, and that's the stitch that we wrapped around the yarn once. So for the next one, we are going to do 2 knit stitches, and then we'll do the purl stitch and then the yarn around again. So from this point, just wrap it once, and then you'll be ready for the purl stitch. Two knit stitches, 1 purl stitch, yarn around, purl stitch, put it on the back, 2 knit stitches, 1 purl stitch, 1 yarn around, so just like that, 1 purl stitch, and then 2 knit stitches. And we are done with the second row. Third and fourth rows are easier. So there's 1 and 2, and then 3 knit stitches, 1, and then if you recognize this one, this is the yarn around that we did. So there's 2 knit stitches, and then the 3rd, and then we'll repeat that, 2 purl, and then 3 knit stitches, 2 purl, and just repeat that. All right, that's round 3. Round 4, would be 2 knit stitches, and then 3 purl, 1, 2, 3, 2 knit stitches, 3 purl, and if you noticed, this row is the exact opposite of row 3. So the knits become the purls, and then the purls become the knits. All right, so there's that 4th row, and as you can see, our stitch, it's becoming to get visible, it's starting to pop up, and you can see this will be the eyelet right here. So we'll just repeat rows 1 to 4 until we reach our however long we want it to be. This is after 2 repetitions of rows 1 to 4. This is what I have. And so if you're working on a project that is using this stitch, you will just follow however many repetitions is in the pattern, and or if you're designing, however many repetitions, how long you want your project to be. So that would be it for this tutorial, and I will see you on part 2 for the round knitting version for the eyelet mock cable rib stitch. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.